Hello, everybody. My name is Nimisha Gandhi. I am a WellSet practitioner, and I just need a second to get set up. WellSet will join us. This is Heal and WellSet Self-Care Sunday, and today we're going to be talking about Ayurvedic recipes for the winter. So, just going to call in WellSet. So just waiting for WellSet to join us. And in the meantime, I just wanted to check in with all of you. How are you doing? How is your Sunday? What is this, the third Sunday in January? It's so exciting. And we're close to the full moon. I am in California where it's raining today and it just feels nice to be indoors. And as we're waiting for WellSet, maybe we can do a quick breathwork activity. So this is just to reset us. If you want, you can put both of your feet down on the ground, maybe even one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Close your eyes. And now take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And keep doing that with every breath becoming a little bit longer and a little bit softer. Ebbing and flowing, letting your breath sync with the cycles of nature. And as we sync our breath with the cycles of nature, we become attuned to our inner rhythms, creating more inner harmony, resetting our nervous system. Each breath a little bit longer, a little bit softer. And when you're ready, feel free to open your eyes. Just looking here. All right. Well, so we're here every other Thursday, WellSet and Heal, for a 30-minute experiential class. And again, my name is Nimisha Gandhi. My Instagram handle is Moon Cycle Nutrition, where I am an Ayurvedic and functional nutritionist, meditation teacher, and conscious parenting coach. I lead classes on WellSet, and WellSet is the first digital holistic health studio for mind, body, and emotional well-being. Membership, WellSet is a membership to thousands of live on-demand classes. There are 20 evidence-based practices in movement, mindfulness practices like yoga, EFT, hypnosis, journaling, yoga, Yoga Nidra, sound healing, Ayurveda, acupressure. You can find all of my classes there, which are based on nutrition, but also meditation and some breath work. And these classes are designed to manage stress, reduce anxiety, shift habits, boost mood, improve sleep, and help you feel more balanced. I've been a practitioner of Ayurveda for over 20 years. Ayurveda is a Eastern-based medicine originating in India, 5,000 years old, and it's really about the mind, body, and soul connection, the spirit connection. And what's so fascinating about it is that each person is seen as an individual. Each person has a unique body type, and understanding your body type, your biological blueprint, is basically giving you the key to what will keep you healthy. And if you are on your healing journey, what very specific things to do so you come back to health. And this applies to the foods you eat. This applies to the your lifestyle, even the career choices you make. And so it's really fascinating. And we talk about the seasons and how the seasons can affect people as well, and then how it can affect people based on their dosha, their biological blueprint. And so I also studied functional medicine because I saw the value of bringing these two modalities together. And as a nutritionist, that's what I do. And in my talk today, I'll be talking not only about Ayurveda, but you'll see sprinklings of functional medicine as well. So today we're talking about Ayurvedic winter recipes, and it's really important to eat according to the seasons. And the reason being is that our bodies also change with the seasons. And I study the microbiome a lot, the gut microbiome. The gut microbiome is composed of all of these species that live within our gut, and they actually help our immune system, they help our digestive system. They are what keeps us healthy. And if we don't feed our microbiome and nourish it, we can become really ill. And studies have shown that our microbiome also changes with the seasons. And our ancestors have always told us to eat with the seasons, right? Eat according to what is available. And if you think about it, refrigeration and freezing our food and preserving our food with industrial methods is a relatively new concept for in the lifespan of human beings. And so our ancestors really did just have to rely on what was available, and through that our microbiome also developed. And so it makes sense to eat according to the seasons as much as possible. So now we're in the winter season where it's cold, it's wet, it could be dry. There's a lot of air and ether elements, and all of this can throw our vata dosha. That is the dosha that is made up of ether and air. And even if you're even if you don't have a lot of vata in you, you can become sensitive to vata. So what happens is that we want to ground the ether and air element in the winter. And so in Ayurveda, like attracts like, and opposites balance. So this saying means, if we continue to eat light and airy foods, we're going to introduce more imbalance into our body, because when we're feeling light and airy and kind of up here, we want to come down and ground ourselves. So what grounding foods are, like our root vegetables, the hearty things, even like soups and stews, those are all the things that are going to keep us warm in the winter, keep us nourished, and also feed our microbiome according to what is in what's available seasonally. And this depends on your region, but generally lots of like cauliflower, kale, the hearty vegetables. It's apples, oranges, lots of citrus is available in the winter, and astringent foods. And then we can also balance out our foods with spices. So one of my favorite recipes actually for the winter is a saffron rice. And saffron has been used for thousands of years for your immune system, for reproductive health, and even for now studies are showing for even the treatment of ADHD like symptoms. And so I love using saffron in my cooking. Saffron's all about it increases what's a concept in Ayurveda called ojas. Ojas is like that vitality, that internal glow, and it plays a crucial role in maintaining our overall health. And so, eating lots of saffron. Or just adding more saffron into our diets can help also stabilize our immune system. It has lots of antioxidants. It's good for your skin. It makes you glow. I use like a saffron. I use a saffron serum on my face. Lots of great benefits. And this recipe is quite simple. You use you get rice, and rice is very stabilizing. It's hypoallergenic, and so I call this a roasted rice with saffron, dates, and cinnamon and cardamom. And what you want to do is chop up some dates, heat up well, first of all, when you're cooking with rice, I like rice to be soaked for at least 20 minutes or more, and this helps actually get rid of some of the arsenic in the rice, and some of the the things that just are clinging to the rice, because rice is grown in fields where there might be pesticides and such. And so you want to soak the rice. Another benefit of soaking the rice is that it actually reduces the glycemic load. It reduces some of the starch. So that's good if you're sensitive. You can, and it helps cook the rice actually faster. So you want to soak your rice, and then you want to rinse it really well until the water turns clear. And now you want to heat up a medium saucepan on low and add ghee. So ghee is clarified butter. I recommend choosing grass-fed ghee. Ghee also has lots of ojas, that life-giving prana, the force, it's like it just kindles your inner fire and your glow. And if you're sensitive to dairy or you're avoiding dairy, you can certainly use coconut oil or another oil, but ghee does give it a certain flavor, as butter does. And when it melts, add the rice and stir the rice around for 2 to 5 minutes. This is toasting the rice. And then you'll start smelling a sweet smell and aroma. And the rice is coated with ghee. And then after that, add the spices. So you want to add about a quarter a teaspoon of black pepper. You want to add maybe 1/4 teaspoon of cardamom powder, 1/4 teaspoon of saffron. And I did forget to mention something really important, is that you take maybe 3 to 4 strands of saffron, and you soak it in a quarter teaspoon to a tablespoon of water, and soak it for about 5 to 10 minutes. And this helps release the properties of the saffron, and it gives it this beautiful orange color, very beautiful. And so now you've done that, and you could do that while you're soaking the rice or rinsing the rice. And then now you're adding your spices to the pot. Add in the saffron water with the saffron threads, and then add more water, about a cup, to bring to boil. Then cover the pot and lower to a simmer. And now your rice is just cooking for about 20 minutes until it's tender. And then you just enjoy that entire bowl warm. You can top it with like coconut shreds, top it with nuts and seeds to make it more, to add more healthy fats and to add more protein as well from the nuts. And this is a beautiful recipe for winter. Actually, it's like gray, and looking at my windows right here, it's gray, it's raining, it's cold. This is like the perfect day for something like this. It's very nourishing. If you have kids, kids will devour this, but it's just great for anyone. It's really great also actually for postpartum. In postpartum in Ayurveda, women are given date shakes and lots of dates to eat to help with the labor, but also the recovery. So this is kind of a universal recipe. It's good for many people. And just seeing if there are any questions or comments. If you have any questions, you can just add it in the question box. It would be easier for me to see. There sometimes lots of comments going, and that's difficult for me to read everything that's going on here. I really appreciate your presence here. Another wonderful recipe of mine is actually masala chai. I'm very, very proud of my masala chai, and I like to make it authentically with the spices. I like to hand grind my spices with my mortar and pestle. And some days I add a lot of black tea. Sometimes I don't add any black tea, and I'll add like Rubio's or a green tea. And you can make this a vegan chai, or you can use A2 grass-fed milk and make it more traditional. And chai is really personal. Chai is customized throughout each household. So it's kind of hard to say what is the most authentic chai recipe, but here's a little history about chai. So chai actually, before the British invaded India, chai really was just a mixture of spices that Ayurvedic practitioners would use to heal their patients. It was a remedy, and it was a remedy of different spices. And so the common spices that we know of are like cinnamon, nutmeg, cardamom, cloves, black pepper. And when the British came in, they introduced the concept of having afternoon tea, and they would add the actual black tea leaves to the chai. And so now everyone in India drinks masala chai with the black tea, which is quite delicious. And so you don't necessarily need to have the black tea if you're avoiding caffeine, but if black tea makes it nice. I drink black tea over coffee on most days. And so what do? So you want to get equal portions of, I like to make my spice mixture for the week out, and then I just use the powder throughout the week. And so you want to take equal portions of cardamom pods. That's my favorite. I like to add rose petals, organic rose petals, cinnamon, nutmeg, black pepper, and just one clove. I don't like the overpowering taste of clove, so I just add clove. And let's see, am I missing anything? And that's it. And then I pound it until it becomes a fine powder in the mortar and pestle. But if you're not using a mortar and pestle, you can use a spice grinder. A lot of coffee grinders can do the job too of grinding up the spices. And then I put in an airtight container. So this is the most important part of making the chai. And then the next thing is you want to take about a tablespoon of you want to take a teaspoon of your spice mix, and you want to mix that in a heavy saucepan with about half a cup of water, and you want to add in your tea leaves. Now this depends on how strong you want your tea, but maybe about 1 to 2 teaspoons, a tablespoon, just depends on how much caffeine you like. And then you let it simmer for about a minute or two. Add in your desired sweetener. I use coconut sugar and I use also jaggery. So jaggery is a type of sugar from India that actually is very low in the actual sugar content, but very high in minerals. So it has a higher mineral content than even coconut sugar, and it has kind of like a molasses taste. You can get jaggery at most Indian grocery stores and maybe even other Asian grocery stores. It's quite delicious. It's very healthy for you. It's a healthy alternative of sugar, and so you can add that in as much sweetener as you like. And then now it's like at a simmer, right? So now you pour in 1 cup of your favorite milk, and I prefer like a whole fat A2 grass-fed milk or like a creamy almond milk, or you could even certainly do oat milk. And now let everything come to a boil. Take it off the stove, and then everything comes back to a simmer. Put it back on the stove, comes to a boil again. Take it off the heat so it comes down again to a simmer. Put it one more time on the stove, let it come to a boil, turn off the stove, get a filter out everything into your favorite mug, and enjoy this cup of coffee. I mean, tea, chai. It is my most favorite thing to do. It is a ritual. It takes me about 5 to 6 minutes to make in the morning. But it's like my ritual. I like to have a gratitude practice while I am drinking this. And the spices really are healing. The cardamom, the cardamom is cooling. The cardamom is a digestive aid. It reduces inflammation. Cinnamon, it's great for your blood sugar. Black pepper is great for your lungs. So there's a benefit for each and every spice that is used in the masala chai. So I'm just going to look at the question box. Can you add bone broth instead of just water to the saffron rice? Sure, you can. It definitely makes it more nutrient dense, and I am a fan of bone broth, but it will, it will change the flavor because the bone broth is overly, it can be a little salty and it has a lot of flavor that will compete with the flavors of the spices in the saffron rice. So I personally would not do it, or if I would do maybe like a very light vegetable broth, but maybe not bone broth, because it could change the flavor. But if you're just looking for ways to add more protein and collagen into your diet, you could certainly try it. It's just will give a very different flavor profile. Is there a way you can send us these recipes? Yes, so these recipes are actually in the WellSet library, because I have given presentations on this where I've gone through this in a much more detail. But my Instagram handle is also Moon Cycle Nutrition, and if you sign up for my newsletter, you also get these recipes, and you have access to the masala chai. I post that quite often. It's also on my Instagram. You mentioned dates. Yes, so I added the dates right when we were adding in the spices. So you add the spices and the dates at the same time. One more question. What was the Indian sugar substitute called again? Jaggery. Jaggery. Let me try to put in the comments. I just put it in the comments, so you should see the name. Jaggery, and it's also called Gaur, Gaur, but not like Gaur gum. Gaur is actually the Hindi name for jaggery. Ooh, lots of questions. This is exciting. Yes. All right, so we're almost at the end of our time. If you have any more questions, please let me know, or we could end with one more recipe. Yeah? Okay. Wow. It was really great for me to partner with Heal and WellSet and speak with all of you, answer your questions. Oh, there's a really great question. How do you support low blood sugar? So this is a whole topic on its own, and I don't think I can answer it in 1 minute, but I will do my best. I think with your blood sugar, it's really important to know, what does balancing blood sugar means for you. To get really high and then really low, or you tend to just stay elevated. But I like to support, simple Ayurvedic remedies are including more spices in your diet. Like I mentioned, cinnamon, turmeric, ginger, cardamom, rose, all of those reduce blood sugar and balances out your hormones, balances out your inflammation as well by lowering your inflammation. Another practice is actually meditation. Meditation has been proven to balance out your blood sugar. I'm a practitioner of Yoga Nidra, which you can check out also on my page or on WellSet. And it is also a really wonderful way to actually, they've done studies where patients were able to get off of metformin if they were practicing Yoga Nidra regularly. So I highly, highly recommend that. So we are going to close out our live. I wanted to thank you so much for joining me today. It was really a pleasure to speak with all of you. And I want to mention that the Heal audience gets their monthly WellSet membership for only $15 a month using the code HEALOFFER at wellset.co, in addition to the regular 14-day trial. So that's really only $15 a month instead of $89. And I will put that code right here in the chat. So if you missed it, it's there in the chat. And then, yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. I really, again, had a pleasure chatting with all of you, talking about Ayurvedic recipes. If you have any questions, feel free to hop on over on my Instagram and ask me, and be sure to check out WellSet, where I give these wonderful presentations and you can see them in detail. All right, bye everyone.